Hey guys, welcome back to another fun night here on Wonder Dad's Gaming. Happy Halloween. Hope you guys are all enjoying tonight and trick-or-treating, or at least hope you had a good night passing out candy. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Qualifying has just begun. We are at Martinsville Speedway for the third race of the series, so give us just a moment here and we'll get started. Alrighty, so happy Halloween, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Right here on Wonder Dad's Gaming, we're at Martinsville for the third race of the round of 8. This is a cutoff race, so it's going to be pretty exciting. A lot of beating banging on track. With it being Martinsville, it's 150 laps, and you don't know what's going to happen. There might be a lot of cautions. A lot of these guys are going to try and edge their way into the Final Four, which is next week at Phoenix. Let's go ahead and show you guys the current playoff standings. Right now, there is a round of 8 drivers, and John Scheidrich has a win so far of the round of 8 drivers, and he is locked in that championship 4 race. But there are still 3 spots open, and we'll see who can win this race tonight to see if they can get themselves locked into that championship 4 next week. And there's your playoff drivers, guys. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and show you who won last week at I'm sorry, we're at Martinsville this week. Last week at Homestead. Man, I was drawing a blank. Homestead. Okay, so Homestead was last week. And there we go. John Scheidrich. Congratulations to John, who won it last week at Homestead, Miami. Put on a great race in the closing laps. Corey Goodall came home P2. He was chasing him down. John Ledger was chasing him down. It was a pretty good finish. Some of the guys that were up there towards the front, it was a lot of passing back and forth. Brandon Fiedler did a great job, and then he had a pit strategy that put him towards the rear. Had a couple incidents during that race, but if you guys missed it, it was a fun race to watch. So congratulations, John, who won last week and locked himself into that championship 4. And then come home P2 was Corey Goodall, finished P2. So he was chasing down John on the closing laps and was right there when it mattered most and had a good solid finish there at Homestead. So if you guys missed it, trust me, it was a good race. Then also P3 was John Ledger, who come home 3rd. And we'll pull that real quick. There you go. John Ledger, great shot of his car as well, running a different paint scheme. Awesome looking shot, man. I saw that on track, and I was like, I got to put that in the stream. So good looking car, and congrats to John. Gets that podium 3rd place finish last week at Homestead. So there you guys have it. There's your podium finishers, and I believe this was the points from last week. I don't know if I updated that or not. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, qualifying has begun, and I think we are just about wrapped up here in just a moment. See if anybody's on track. And right now it looks like Brandon Fiedler has the fastest time in qualifying. Marshall Dugan is out there on track, putting down a qualifying time. Yeah, we're just about to get wrapped up here in just a moment. So there you have it. Brandon Fiedler has the fastest time on track. And Zachary Ward comes home, or will be starting P2 on the outside row. So let's go ahead and get started here, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in here at Martinsville Speedway. This is the cutoff race of the round of 8. And we're going to see who can win it. And we're going to be here for 150 laps here tonight on Halloween. And like I said, this is going to be a fun, interesting night. So can't wait to get started. Alrighty, so starting on the front row, we'll go through the grid. You have Brandon Fiedler, who will be starting 1st place, and that number 39 Toyota Camry. This is the next-gen cars. And then starting P2 will be Zachary Ward in that number 9. Starting P3 is Stephen Gibson Jr. in the 43 car. Starting P4 will be Jeffrey Belk in the number 55. Starting P5 is Bryn George in the number 54. Starting in the 3rd place, starting in the 6th place position, Patrick Calusio. Starting in the 7th place position is David Galloway Jr. Starting 8th is Wes Gallo in the 07. Starting P9 is John Ledger in the 25. Starting P10, Craig Bridge Jr. in the number 94. Starting P11 is Jeff Laraway in the number 71. Starting P12 is Matthew Heel in the number 53. Starting P13 is Corey Goodall in the number 333. Starting P14 is John Scheidrich. That's last week's winner And the number 95, starting P15th, is Eric Olson. And the number 64, starting 16th, Steve Mormon. And the number 26, and starting 17th at the tail end of the field will be Marshall Dugan and the number 45. Alrighty, guys, there you have your starting lineup. And hope you guys enjoy this broadcast tonight here at Martinsville Speedway. There you have the front of the pack, getting ready to go green flag racing here in just a moment. Hope you're all having a good Halloween here tonight. It's been a fun night for us. Passed out some candy earlier before this thing got started, and then hopped on here to join all you guys, and hope you enjoy this race. Lorraine Neha says shout out to John Ledger. Rowdy Matt says hell yeah, we streaming, and Caitlin Weller says go John Scheidrich. Alrighty guys, here we go. Looks like we're about to do one more lap of caution before we get started here. Good looking field out here tonight. Getting ready to go green flag racing for 150 laps here at Martinsville Speedway. It's going to be awesome to see who can edge out the rest of the field and win the race win this race and join the championship 4 next week at Phoenix. Alrighty, pace car has pulled off.
Green flag.
And green flag in the air for the first time here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Brandon Feeler leads them down into turn number 1 of that 39 Camry. And it's Steven Gibson right behind him on the inside row in that 43. Zachary Ward in the number 9. Patrick Lucio way up to the high side here. He's going to be at the wall. Loses a couple spots here in that number 18. So far they go back to single file after starting double 2 wide, and it's Brandon Feeler in the lead in that 39, followed by Steven Gibson. Zachary Ward's 3rd, and Bryn George is 4th. Bryn's also out there running a new paint scheme along with Zachary Ward in that number 9. Looks like most of these guys are all out there running new paint schemes. Wes Gallo in the 07 running a new paint scheme as well. Looks like a Martin Truex throwback there. And caution is out. Looks like Marshall Dugan involved. There you have Marshall Dugan, the 45, almost 3 wide there. Gets back on the throttle and spins it out of turn number 2. Got back on the throttle too quickly, and he's going to spin it out. I've done that so many times at this track. Martinsville is a real, especially in these next-gen cars, it's you can lose the rear end very easily. Let's take one more look before we go back to green. Oh, a lot of damage to the front of that car. We only got one fast repair tonight, and Marshall Dugan, who is in the playoffs right now, he's got that playoff banner on his car. He's going to have to probably use that fast repair early on. That looked like a pretty big hit in that 45 car. Alrighty, so Brandon Feeler out there following around the pace car. He's going to lead them. So far, let's go ahead and pull him up into the booth and congratulate him on that pole. Hey, Brand, it's David on the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's up, David?
Hey, congratulations on the pole and starting P1 here at Martinsville. How important is that to you tonight?
Very. Especially with how close the points are getting with John's win last week. Starting up front, getting those bonus points for the pole, and just basically a free one for leading the lap. It definitely was very important to get the pole tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations, and great looking paint scheme out there. Truex throwback, I'm assuming.
Yep, all the EG guys are in different Truex paint schemes to honor Martin Truex for this being his last year, and we figured why not do it at Martinsville. So, yeah, and huge shout out to Wes for making them all for us for this week.
Oh, see, that's cool. See, I saw Wes's paint scheme. I knew that was a Furniture Row throwback for Truex, and then I saw yours, and I assumed, but I didn't realize that Bryn's got that Michael Waltrip Racing throwback. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, good luck, Brandon. Looks like we're getting ready to go green flag racing once again, and hopefully you can stay out of trouble. We'll be watching you tonight.
Yeah, sounds good. Hopefully I can talk to you guys at the end of this thing.
Alrighty, good luck.
All right.
Alrighty, here we go. Going back to green flag racing once again. Brandon's going to lead them down. Pace car off the track. And here we go. Green flag in the air.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
And it's Brandon Fiedler down on the inside. Stephen Gibson was up on the high side. Zachary Ward in that number 9. He's going to stuck it to the inside. Oh, he's going to lose it. Zachary Ward loses it and goes to the inside wall. And he loses a ton of spots out of turn 2. He tried to make the pass on the inside of Stephen Gibson there, and he lost a ton of ground trying to make that move. I think like we saw Marshall Dugan get into the throttle too quickly, spun around. I think that's what happened to Zachary Ward in that number 9 car. Alrighty, back up here to the front. Brandon's going to still lead this race. Oh, and it's Patrick Lucio. He loses a ton of spots as well once again. And he's going to lose all those spots going towards the back of the field. John Ledger and the 25 back to the Monster Energy paint scheme tonight, the one that I really appreciate. I love that paint scheme. Great looking car out there. Alrighty, Brandon's still in the lead, followed by Stephen Gibson, who is in P2. So far, lap 13, we got one caution here tonight of 150 laps, and this thing is far from over. We're going to have a lot of beating and banging all race long. It's going to be pretty interesting to watch these guys battle it out here at this paperclip track. Ryan on board with David Galloway Jr. right now, who is currently in the 4th place position. He's in that 27 Chevrolet Camaro, and Steve Mormon all the way up to the high side of the track. He makes contact with the outside wall. You can see that right front is a little banged up on that 26 Toyota Camry. Zachary Ward, though, moving through the field already. He moves back up to the 7th spot after he basically saved it. He almost lost control of that car and spun out early in this race, but he's trying to rebound nicely back inside the top 10. And he's moving his way through the field. As you see, he's moved to the inside to make the pass on Steve Mormon this time by through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch he goes. He's going to make the pass this time by on the 26 car. Oh, and Steve Mormon's going to lose it.
Caution.
And caution's going to come out. And you can lose control of these cars just as simple as that. Too much throttle out of the turns, and the rear just goes right around. Oh, and contact between Stephen Gibson. Have another look here. And then poor Stephen Gibson comes around the track. I don't know if he just didn't see them there at the inside or didn't know where he was going to go, but he comes around and makes heavy contact. Stephen Gibson was in 2nd place when this happened. And now that right front, you can see, has a lot of damage on it. Stephen Gibson's going to bring it down pit road, having to make some repairs. He's going to use that fast repair early on this race on lap number 19. These guys are going to have to be extremely careful from this point on because there's only one fast repair here tonight. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens, but not what he wanted to have happen to him early on this race. How about Wes Gallo, though? He's up to the 2nd position here tonight in the 07 car. He's made up a lot of ground. Moved up 6 spots from where he started. I believe he is the biggest mover of the race at this point. Up to 2nd place. Sharon Laraway says, good evening. Best of luck to Craig in the 94. And to Jeff in the 71. Thanks for broadcasting. Yeah, no problem. Of course. Hope you guys are all having a happy Halloween out here tonight here at Martinsville Speedway. We should be ending this race under the lights. So far we've had 2 cautions here tonight. We're only on lap number 21 of 150 laps. Let's go ahead and take a look at Jeff Laraway's car. He's running a new paint scheme, Halloween themed out there. Team Bridge Racing on the side of that car. Pretty good looking car there, Jeff. Craig Bridge Jr. out there as well with a different paint scheme for the Halloween. All right, it looks like we're going to go green flag racing this time. Lights are off the pace car. Half a lap to go. Pace cars pull off the track. They head into turn number 3 and 4.
Green flag.
And green flag in the air. Brandon Fiedler's going to lead them down the track once again, down the back stretch with Wes Gallo right behind and David Galloway Jr. right there in 3rd place. As you can see them heading through the corners, a lot of braking is involved at this speedway or this short track. And you can see David Galloway Jr. and everybody else slamming on the brakes as they head through the corners. This is one of those tracks I can never figure out. You got to have really good brakes here at this speedway. A lot of brake bias adjustment throughout this race. These guys have brake bias control inside their cars, and they're going to be adjusting that all race long. What that brake bias does is it changes the front to rear braking power, a little more braking in the front versus the rear of the car. You can adjust that on the fly via an in-car adjustment. And as the tires wear, brakes get hot and wear down. You'll move that adjustment on a newer set versus an older set of tires. Steven Gibson moving back up to the field pretty nicely. We watched him have heavy damage to that car, bring it down pit road. Now he's back up to the 7th position. Definitely didn't want that to happen, but he's making his way back to the front pretty nicely. How about Zachary Ward up here, moving the inside of David Galloway Jr. Look at those rotors. They are just glowing red here at Martinsville.
Caution.
And caution is out. Craig Bridge Jr. is involved. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Somebody was keying up on your radio. Just give it.
There's Craig in the 94. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. And just loses the rear end of it. Heavy braking. I think he just overshot the corner, got in a little bit too hot there. Not too bad of damage though. He pretty much saves it. Could have been a lot worse. I think he'll be all right. righty, moving up back here to live racing. Brandon Fiedler is leading them so far every lap here tonight. Wes Gallo is second, and Zachary Ward has moved his way back up to third after spinning out, or almost spinning out rather. He saved the car, lost a bunch of positions. He lost almost 10 spots, and now he's moved his way back up to third place here. So that number 9 definitely turned it around. Brent George also with the Martin Truex throwback in that 54 car. Pretty cool to see all these guys out there with Martin Truex throwbacks in honor of his last season in the Cup Series. Let's go ahead and pull up Steve Moorman and talk with him here real quick. Hey Steve, it's David out the booth. You got me?
Hey David, how are you?
Hey buddy, sorry had a little incident early in this race, lost control of the car, but I just want to give you a shout out here tonight. Are you running the Truex throwback as well?
I am, yeah, courtesy of Wes. He does a great job with these designs.
All right, so I'm curious. I've noticed and recognized the other guys. What is your Truex scheme from?
You're asking the wrong guy. Honestly, I had the last pick, I think, so I went with something so out of left field. My guess it's his before his Cup days, but I don't know. We'll have to look it up and find out. But it's cool, and it's one I've never seen before.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I know the one that he's got with Brandon's running a Gibbs paint scheme, and I believe Bryn's running a Michael Waltrip Racing, and then Wes has the Furniture Row, and then I saw yours, and I was like, scratching my head. I'm not too sure which one that one's from, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Honestly, I Googled Martin Truex schemes, and this was the one that I don't think anyone would pick, that I've never seen before, so I rolled with it and let the guys maybe have some of the cooler, more notable ones.
Alrighty, I gotcha. Well, good luck out there. Still got a lot of racing left to go, and hey, good looking car though. Liking it so far, and hope you have some good luck, Steve. Need some good luck to go your way.
All right, appreciate that, sir. Thank you again.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
See ya.
That was Steve Moorman in the 26 car running a Michael Waltrip throwback. If you guys know what that car is from, which Truex car, let us know in the comment section, because I'm not sure. Because we obviously have seen the other ones, like I said before. But that one's pretty cool looking. Alrighty, pace car is about to pull off the track. We're going green flag racing here once again. And we have the Truex cars on the front row. There they are. Wes Gallo, Brandon Fiedler is going to lead them to green flag racing here.
Green.
Green flag in the air. Wes Gallo gets a nice start on the outside, but Brandon's a little bit quicker there. Down into turn number 1 they go with Zachary Ward right there in third place, right behind them. West to the outside of the 39 car. Had a huge run into that corner of turn 3. He's going to graze the wall there a little bit on the outside, and Zachary Ward's going to capitalize on that to the inside. He's going to make the pass here out of turn 2. Still side by side into 3 this time. Number 9. Not quite going to clear the 07. The 07 hanging on for dear life here. He wants that top spot. And there you have it. The number 9 has officially made the pass. Moves up to second place. Wes Gallo still trying to get that position back in the 07. This is the battle for second and third on screen. Brandon Fiedler is currently leading the race in the number 39 car. We're on lap number 39. Look at Steven Gibson driving it hard in that 43 car. He locked the brakes up there, trying not to get in the back of the 54 car. He sent it in pretty deep. That's the tricky thing about Martinsville too. You send it in too hard, you run the risk of taking out the guy in front of you, and we see that many times here in this track. A lot of these guys racing hard for position. They'll send it in pretty hard, and then they take the guy out, hit him in the back bumper, and that spins the car out in front of him. How about Matthew Heel, though, on the 53? He made the pass on Zachary Ward. Zach lost a couple spots there. And Wes moves his way back up to P2. Matthew He up to third, and Zachary Ward falls back to fourth here. Marshall Dugan, the 45, trying to rebound nicely. He's inside the top 10 currently. Alrighty, the lights are on track and the sun is going down. And look at this gap from first to second here. Brandon Fiedler is just running away with the show. He did say he enjoys Martinsville Speedway, and he definitely shows he's good at this track. He's got a big lead over second place. It looks like a 2.6 second lead over second of Wes Gallo, Wes Gallo in the 07 there. So far, looks like the rest of the field all single file. There's John Scheidrich in the 95. He is currently locked in. He is the only one in this race that is not afraid to go out there and just have some fun here tonight, because he is locked into that championship race next week. He won last week at Homestead, had a phenomenal race, and was there in the closing laps when it mattered most, and got that win. There is your current playoff standings entering Martinsville. Like we just spoke about, John Scheidrich, he has the win last week at Homestead. Nobody else inside this round of 8 has a win this series. So we are looking at your current playoff drivers. Any one of these guys has a shot to win it tonight, except for Luke Mahone actually is not out there tonight on track. We are missing him. So any of these guys on screen are trying to race their way into that championship 4. Brandon's going to put Jeff Laraway 1 lap down, this time on lap number 52. So Jeff Laraway is your lead car, 1 lap down. Should the caution come back out, he'll get that lucky dog wave around and be back on the lead lap. Jeffrey Belk out there in the 55. That's your other Martin Truex throwback. That's another Gibbs paint scheme out there as well. I'm not quite sure what happened to John Ledger, but John Ledger is off track. Thought we'd be seeing him out there tonight. Look at Matthew Heel in the 53. He's won this race earlier this season. He's out there chasing down the leader of Brandon Fiedler, the 39. These two guys have the fastest cars on track as we speak. But Matthew Heel, 53 Chevrolet Camaro, he won this race earlier in the Truck Series at the beginning of this season. So keep an eye on him. He knows how to get it done here and looking to go back-to-back here in the iRacing Fun League. Eric Olson and a 64. Oh, caution is out.
That last run, did you see any rubber
Patrick Calusio.
laying down at all?
Oh, and he saves it. Doesn't even make any contact with the inside or outside wall. Saves it from spinning around. Did a great job there. All right, it looks like everybody's going to come down pit road. Jeff Laraway is going to stay out. It looks like he's going to get that wave around that we just spoke about. He was the lead car 1 lap down, so he'll get that lap back, and he does. He gets to go around the pace car, and he'll be at the tail end on the lead lap. So caution is out for the 4th time here tonight at Martinsville. Lap 58 of 150. Cars on pit road, getting some tires. Let's go ahead and pull up Matthew Heel and have a chat with him.
Was he out?
Hey, Matthew, it's David Booth. You got me?
Hey, how's it going, David?
Hey, just want to give you a shout out up there to 2nd place. Looks like you got one of the fastest cars on track. You did win this race earlier this season. How's it feel out there tonight?
Going pretty good. I haven't hit anybody yet, and I'm hoping that I can keep that streak alive. You know, Brandon Fielder in 39's running a pretty darn good race, but I was really surprised. Clean air actually makes a huge difference here. I got really, really tight in behind that 07. It was really hard to get around him. So I think, you know, you're going to have to force somebody into a mistake or give him the bumper in order to get around him in this race. So I think track position is going to be a huge thing. Now, there is 100 laps on a fuel tank, so if you pit it there, you can make it to the end on fuel. However, tires, a little bit of fall off there, probably about 4 or 5/10 of a second every 30-40 laps. So I'll be curious to see the tire strategies here. I don't foresee that being the last caution. So I'll be curious to see, you know, in 50 laps if a caution comes out, you know, where everybody's going to stack up. But we got that 53 Chef Column Maybe Mobile in a pretty good spot, and hopefully we can capitalize on our spring success and bring home another win tonight.
Right, you said it best, and like I can't remember exactly how that truck race went earlier this season, if it was a caution fest or not, but usually when we do officials, man, I tell you what, it's just a caution fest. But interesting enough, yeah, you guys have a fast car, and it'll be interesting to see if you can chase down Brandon, and that clean air definitely makes a difference because we see him pulling away from the rest of the field.
Thank you. I think the race was actually mostly caution-free. I mean, it's Martinsville, of course, you're going to have a couple cautions, but I mean, I ran a professional league with a few, you know, NASCAR team guys once, and we had like 15 cautions. So, I mean, this league's actually pretty good when it comes down to cautions. Everybody kind of races themselves with respect, and, you know, even though there's a bit of a skill gap throughout the field, everybody kind of meshes really well, especially at a track like Martinsville where, you know, the electricity is high. You know, everybody kind of runs good, and hopefully we can capitalize this off as we're getting ready to go back green here.
Alrighty, Matt. Good luck out there. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there you heard it from Matthew Heel, who's outside on that outside row on the restart in that 53 car. He's going to battle hard with Brandon Fielder down into turn number 1, 53 and 39, side by side out of turn 2. And look at that, the 53, Matthew Heel clears the 39. Down the front stretch. Oh, and caution back out once again.
Look here, step for me right there.
And it's Corey Goodall and John Scheidrich in the wall. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened. 5th caution of the night is out. There's the 95. Oh, loses control. We've seen that so many times here tonight that these next-gen cars, oh, the 333 did not get into them. Just was right there stuck behind him when the 95 spun it around. But, yeah, we see that happen so many times. You get too much throttle on these cars, and it spins them right around. But John Scheidrich, not to be afraid, he is in the championship for next week. As I said earlier in this race, he is the only guy on track that is not afraid to just go out there and have a fun time tonight, because he is going to be winning or racing for a championship next week at Phoenix for winning last week. So the 95 down on pit road. All right, it looks like our leaders stay out. Let's go ahead and pull up Wes Gallo real quick and have a chat with him. Hey, Wes, David of the Booth, you got me?
Sure do. How goes it, buddy?
Hey, just want to give you a shout out and say, hey, nice throwback paint schemes, all designed by you. Did a phenomenal job. We see you out there in that Furniture Row throwback. What is Steve Mormon running? Do you know?
Steve Mormon, it is a World Vision scheme that Martin Truex ran a handful of times in 2013, 14, 15.
Ah, gotcha. I did not recognize it. I noticed all the other paint schemes you created on track, and I recognized them all looking really good. And then Steve was the only one I did not know. I even asked him about it. He's like, man, I don't know either, but Wes designed it, so figured I'd ask you.
Yes, yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate the compliments. I gave everyone a chance for them to pick out their favorite one, and he's still kind of new to the NASCAR world, so he just found one that looked different, and he went with it. So that's what he got.
Awesome. Well, how is your race going out there? I see you up there in the mix, top 3 most of this race so far tonight. You were battling hard with Zachary Ward and got that position back. But how are you feeling about tonight's race?
I am driving way over my head. I am so bad at short tracks, especially at Martinsville. I've kind of been putting the time in to get better here, but I am surrounded by guys that are substantially better than me, and I'm just kind of just holding on for dear life, hoping I don't make any big stupid moves, and I don't know, let's get some points and let's move on to Phoenix.
Alrighty, well, going into this race, you're +6 to the good, so just got to have a solid finish here tonight to race for that championship next week. So good luck out there, and hopefully you can keep it clean.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really ever look at the numbers. I could have already been locked in before the race, and I don't know. I just show up, race, and if I move on, cool. If not, here we are.
Alrighty, Wes, good luck. Going back to green flag racing.
Thank you, buddy. Have fun.
Alrighty, there you heard it from Wes Gallo, who's going to be restarting in that 3rd place position on the inside row.
Green flag.
And green flag back in the air. Matthew Heel side by side with Brandon Fiedler in the 39. He gets a good start down the inside. Oh, and locks him up hard into turn number 1. Brandon's going to cross him over to the inside. Not quite going to get there to him. He's going to drop back to 2nd place here. And it looks like Matthew Heel running an interesting line there in the corners. Look at Steven Gibson in that 43 car. He's coming back up through the field. He wants a piece of this action. He's up to 3rd place. Moxie says, wish I could be there tonight. Good luck all. I saw you earlier in the chat. Wanted to give you a shout out. Thanks for coming by and saying hello. It's been an interesting race so far. 5 cautions of 71 laps. Doing 150 here at Martinsville Speedway. As I said earlier in this race, this is an elimination race. So some of these guys are racing extremely hard here tonight. Brandon Fiedler in that 39 car we see on screen, he is racing for a championship, and he wants to be locked into that race next week. Right now, Brandon is inside the championship 4 if he finishes inside the top 5. He needs a good race here tonight. He is +9 to the good. Just needs to hang on to that track position, but everybody else on screen is racing for a championship, needs to win. They want to be locked in, or at least Wes Gallo and Corey Goodall, they are all inside the championship 4 as we speak. Corey Goodall's got a lot of ground to make up, though. He's currently back in the 14th place position, and if he finishes there tonight, he might not make that championship 4. It'll be really interesting to see where these playoff points and where the points all are after this one's all over. All right, what we're going to do now is right on board with Marshall Dugan in the 45 car. I'll show you guys what a lap around this track looks like.
caution.
And caution
20
is
to go.
out. It's Wes Gallo. Go figure how would jinx him. There we go. Sorry, guys. You saw him hit that rumble strip, got to the throttle, and then lost the rear end. It's so easy to do in these next-gen cars. And you see it happen time and time again here tonight at Martinsville. Man, I need to stop pulling these guys up and talk to them, because every time I do, I always feel like I jinx them. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and pull up John here in the 95. Hey, John, say it, you got me?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, we watched you lose control, but don't be afraid, because we've seen it time and time again all race long. It's so easy to lose that rear end around, but you're the only guy out there that's just out there racing for fun here tonight. How's it feel here at Martinsville?
You can see that in the racing, huh? Yeah, I'm just out here just trying to have a good time, man. My only goal was to make it to the end of this race. And for some odd reason, I got on the outside there. I think it was 6th or 7th, and I thought, okay, well, let's get racing here. And I pushed too hard, and I stepped on it. So, yeah, I'm just like, you know what? Let's go back to the rhythm we were in. Let's just try to make it to the end of this race. And if we find ourselves in the top 5, well, then so be it.
Alrighty, I mean, that's a plan. That's what I would do. But, yeah, I mean, I hate Martinsville. I can never figure it out, and it's so easy to lose the rear end of these cars. And we've watched it about 6 times here tonight, and we'll probably see it again here a few more times. But, yeah, how easy is it? You just get too much throttle out of the corner and then just lose the rear end? Is that how it happens?
Dude, these things are on a razor's edge at like all times. Like I don't know if you heard like earlier, David, we ran a mock race last night for like 40 laps. And it was like no matter what you did, it was like you were spinning or you were just wrecking loose. You hit the curb, you're wrecking loose. You touch a car outside, you're wrecking loose. You hit the wall, that's about the only thing that keeps you straight.
Yep, that sounds about right from what I can remember.
They are a total handful, and I'm not a fan of these cars, and I do not have hardly any laps at this racetrack. So, I'm just here to hang on.
Alrighty, man. Well, thanks for talking with us. Good luck out there, and at least you don't got to worry about not trying to race your way in tonight. That's got to be the most relief here.
Yeah, I got to put all my eggs in my basket for next week. That's the goal.
There you go. There you got it. All right, well, good luck out there. We're getting ready to go green flag racing this next lap, and have fun.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
All right, there you heard it from John Shirich, who won last week in the 95. He's out there having a good time tonight, and seeing what he can do with it. Currently 9th place here on track. Already getting ready to go green flag racing here once again. Here is the field as they stack up 2 by 2, and is Brandon Feeder in the 39 with Stephen Gibson on the outside. Matthew Heel went back to 11th place, and he is now deep in the field. But pace car is off, and Brandon's going to lead them to green once again.
Green flag.
There you have it. 39 car takes the green flag, and he's going to lead them down to turn number 1 on the inside row. Stephen Gibson, the 43 on the high side, with David Galloway Jr. up there in the mix. He's going to wreck it. He's going to lose it down out of turn 2. And there's a big wreck. They're all stacking up right behind him. And I did that same thing about 2 years ago in this fun league. I spun it out of turn 2, exactly what David did. You get to the inside row, you put the throttle down, you think you're going to pull away from the guy on the outside, and you just lose it right in front of the whole field. I did that from 3rd place exactly like he just did. Let's go ahead and take a replay, another look, but that happened to me. I know these guys' pain. Here's the 27. Right in front of the whole field. Eric Olson gets a big chunk of it. Bryn George. Eric Olson had nowhere to go. He's up there on the high side of the 64. So yeah, as you can see, that 27 all crunched up in that right front bumper there. Hood is now crinkled up. Aero does not matter too much here tonight as long as you can keep the suspension clean, but that right front suspension on that car does not look right on the 27 car. Unfortunate for those guys. They were up there in the mix, third place, and spun it around. Caution back out here tonight. And we are on lap number 86, coming to 87 this time by under caution. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight on Halloween. Hope you're all having a happy Halloween out there. Still got a lot of racing here left to go. Anything can happen. Just when you think one driver has it all locked up, we saw Brandon Fiedler lead a lot of laps tonight. Still got a lot of racing, and anything can happen. Once you get deep in the field, too, it's hard to get your way back up to the front without some kind of incident happening in front of you. And that's the last thing you want to see is a car like the 27 losing it in front of the field and taking a bunch of cars out. Now at this track, though, the speeds aren't too high, so if you do get a little bit of contact, you can usually rebound pretty nicely. You just want to keep the brakes, the tires, and everything pretty cool. But alrighty, looks like the pace lights are off on the pace car, and we're going to go green flag racing here once again. And there you have it. Pace car has pulled off track.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air on lap number 89. Stephen Gibson, Brandon Fiedler side by side with Bryn George and Patrick Coluccio right behind them for third and fourth. Well, look at this, side by side down the backstretch, Stephen Gibson and Brandon Fiedler. Stephen's going to take that lead away from the 39 car. He's going to lead this race. He did get sent back to the back, making contact with another car earlier in this race, and that 43 car has rebounded extremely nicely. Now leading this race on lap number 90.
Caution.
Oh, and the caution is out once again.
There, bud.
The 27 again. Here we go. 27 car on track. He's going to lose it. Brandon got a piece of that too. Craig Bridge in the 94 showing he made contact. Up on the high side, makes contact with the outside wall. Spins it around. Alrighty, so a couple cars down on pit road. Looks like Eric Olson, Jeffrey Belk, Corey Goodall on pit road. Now this is interesting because Brandon was leading most of this race, and now he is going to get sent back to what looks like the 11th place position under this restart here. So he's going to have a lot of racing and a lot of catching up to do to get back up to the front. That's what he did not want to see that here tonight. So Steven Gibson's going to still lead this race after taking over that lead from Brandon Fiedler. A little bit of strategy is going to come into play because some of these guys will pit for tires behind you, and if you stay out in front, it'll be interesting to see how many laps you can stay out. And one of the questions I was going to ask these guys is how many laps can they go on a tank of gas here? I believe the fuel does not matter here at Martinsville. I believe you can probably go like 100-something laps on it, but it's the tires that you're going to want to come in for, and those will burn up quickly here if you slide them around too much at Martinsville. So that's the key money right there, is in the tires. Alrighty, lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go green flag racing here on lap number 96.
Green flag.
And green flag in the air. Steven Gibson on the inside with Bryn George on the outside, off to a great start this time. These guys are beating and banging on track throughout the field. Patrick Lucio on the 18 with Marshall Dugan and Craig Bridge right there battling hard for position. That is the position for 6th and 7th on screen. And Craig's going to get around the 45 and move up to 6th place. That 71 on that car just popped on Jeff Laraway's car. That Halloween scheme with Team Bridge Racing on the side. I love the way that car looks. Awesome looking paint scheme out there. But yeah, that 71 though, going on the track, that thing just pops. That's pretty cool. Out of all the paint schemes tonight, it's cool seeing, Craig up in the wall on the high side. I was going to say it's awesome to see Halloween-themed paint schemes out there. Lap 102 of 150. This race is starting to wind down. Let's take a look at Brandon Fiedler as he makes his way back up through the field. He's in that 39 car. I believe he came in for tires in that last stop, and he's going to go to the inside of Marshall Dugan in the 45 car. Waiting to make his pass, and he does to the inside at the start-finish line on the 45, and he makes that pass cleanly. That's going to put him up to the 7th place position. Matthew Heel making the pass on the inside of Bryn George in the 54 this time by. Wes Gallo, after spinning out earlier in the race, he's made his way back up to 4th place here tonight. Alrighty guys, we're going to take a brief intermission. I'll be right back in just a moment. We're going to keep this green flag racing. Hope you're all having a happy Halloween out there. We'll be right back. All right, we are back out here tonight. Thank you for waiting, or your patience. Lap 113 of 150. Stephen Gibson is still out there in the lead, and he just made contact with the outside road down the backstretch in that 43 car, but he's doing a great job out here tonight, showing he can get it done here in the iRacing Fun League. He makes the pass on the 71 and puts Jeff Laraway one lap down this time by.
I think we're under for caution here.
Caution is out. Marshall Dugan involved. Oh, makes a lot of contact with that rumble strip on the inside row, and hopefully nobody hits him out of turn 3 or turn 4. He gets that car turned around in the right direction, but yep, that was a huge jump. Let's take another look. Comes in and rides that curb around the inside, and that really upset the car and spins it around. Alrighty, so Stephen Gibson in the front here, leading this race on lap 117. 9 cautions so far here tonight at Martinsville. Jeff Laraway gets that free pass. He's back on the lead lap. Gets that lucky dog once again here. Couple cars on pit road. John Scheidrich, Corey Goodall made his way on pit road along with Eric Olson. Patrick Lucio on pit road as well here tonight in the 18. And Marshall Dugan brings his car down pit road as well. Don't look now, but Brandon Fiedler in the 39 back up to 3rd place. These three guys on screen have the fastest cars of the race. We got Steven Gibson Jr. in the 43 car leading this race, Brandon Fiedler, who is in third in the 39, and Matthew Heel in the number 53. These guys have led the majority of the laps here tonight. We saw Zachary Ward up there in the front battling with these guys, but Zachary Ward is actually off track along with John Ledger. Those two cars are out. Zachary Ward, who has been struggling with connection issues, been plagued by his PC in the last couple of weeks. He is off track and out of this race. And John Ledger, who is doing so well this season, missed the Roval race and then is out of this race here tonight. No longer in the running for the championship. Was very a surprise to us. We thought Ledger would be up there going for the championship, but unfortunately did not move forward in the championship standings. Did not make the round of 8. I'm really curious to see who moves forward after this race is over into that championship race. And we got one race left this year, guys. Next week at Phoenix is our final race of the year, and that is our championship race at Phoenix. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be our last broadcast probably of this year, unless we have a one-off. We are going to throw another season up here shortly.
Green flag, green flag.
To be determined whether I broadcast it or not. I might do a little racing with these guys here in the off season. But green flag back in the air. It's Steven Gibson, Matthew Heel, and Brandon Fiedler right there, 1, 2, and 3. These guys side by side, still racing hard. Oh, Matthew Heel almost loses it, saves the car. Stays in P2, loses a little bit off the leader there. Now he's going to have to go hard to catch him back once again. Steven Gibson last run was pulling away from the field like we saw Brandon do earlier in this race. Now he's got some ground making up to do, but lost a little bit of momentum there. Steve Mormon, who we thought earlier in this race couldn't have had a bad or worse start this season to this race, and look at him, he's back up there in the mix. He's in 7th place. He's now moved up 9 spots from where he started here tonight in that 26 Camry, so keep an eye on him. He's heading in the right direction. We got 26 more laps to go here tonight, and he can only move forward. Right behind him, Craig Bridge Jr. in the 94 car. He's moved up to the 8th place position. Corey Goodall's right behind him in the 333. Eric Olson right behind him in P10. That is your top 10 cars right now. Alrighty, moving back up to the leaders here. We're going to go do a little NASCAR crank it up style.
Caution's out. One thing for sure, everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off at somebody
Caution
else on the racetrack
is
before the race
out. Matthew Heel involved. And he loses it from 2nd place all by himself. Also, John Shirich crashed as well. Let's take a look at that. Oh, gets a little help from the 18 of Patrick Lucio. Steve says his car is from 2014. This is throwback paint scheme. There you have it, 2014 Martin Truex World Vision paint scheme. That was when Martin Truex was in the 78 car and he was in the Chevrolet SS for Furniture Row Racing. So I did not recognize it, but it's from the NASCAR Sprint Cup days when he was with Furniture Row. Alrighty, so look at who's back up here in the mix. Brandon Fiedler in the 39, Stephen Gibson in the 43. These guys are going to go toe-to-toe here. We're on lap number 131, so this race is winding down. Couple cars on pit road. That's John Shirich and Marshall Dugan. Right now, Corey Goodall needs to make some moves in this race if he wants to make that championship for next week. Right now, Corey Goodall is in P8. He has Brandon Fiedler and Wes Gallo and Bryn George all in front of him, along with Craig Bridge-Jr. It's all going to come down to the bonus points too. Be interesting to see what happens here. I don't know if any of these cars here tonight are going to finish without any incidents, because there is bonus points for no incidents. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody can manage that one, and I give a major props if anybody can pull that one off. But pace car lights are off. We're going to go green flag racing this time. Alrighty, down the backstretch they go. Pace car is going to pull off the track, and it's going to be Stephen Gibson and Brandon Fiedler in the top. Once again, side by side, Stephen will lead them down into turn number 1 here at the start-finish line. And there you have it.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. It is 16 laps to go this time by. And the caution is out once again. Patrick Lucio. Oh, and it's Matthew Heel sending it in. Trying to go 3 wide off the restart into turn number 1. Let's take another look here once again. So here's the restart. '18 gets shoved around from the 53. This race is winding down, 14 laps to go. Not much racing is left in this one, guys. We're about to see who's got what it takes. Can Brandon take the lead away from Steven Gibson in that 43 car, or is Steven going to run away with the show? We got 11 cautions out here tonight. I can't say I'm real surprised. These Martinsville races here on iRacing are pretty chaotic, and we do see a lot of wrecks. A lot of beating and banging, especially this time of the year when the championship race is next week. So as I was saying earlier, one more race left to go in this season. Next week we're at Phoenix for the final time of the 2024 Road to Cup season. And we will crown our season champion of the series, and it's all going to come down to 4 drivers. Hope you're all having a fun Halloween out there tonight, staying safe. Hopefully you did some trick-or-treating with your kids earlier today. I got off work just in time. Got home, passed out some candy. We had a pretty good amount of trick-or-treaters here at our house. We had about, I'd say, 30 kids or so, maybe, give or take. It's always a fun time. Alrighty, pace car's pulled off.
Green flag.
And green flag in the air. Steven Gibson's going to lead them at the line. Down to turn number 1 he goes to the inside in that 43. Brandon Feeler and Bryn George, Wes Gallo right behind him for 3rd and 4th. Nine more laps to go. Oh, we got a wreck.
Caution, caution, caution. How you doing in there, kid?
David Galloway, John Shirich, Matthew Heel, Patrick Lucio. Let's take a look. Let's see, where is the caution? Oh, it's too far back. Looks like Craig or Matthew Heel. Let's go ahead and back this up. It's not giving me a clear explanation of what happened here. So here's Craig in the 94 and Matthew Heel in the 53. I believe this is where it started. And there you see we're 3 wide. So here we go, 3 wide. Oh, looks like the 53 just kind of got in the side of the 94, went up the track, and then kind of the rest of the field all involved in that. Alrighty, not a whole lot of racing left to go. This thing is almost over. A couple cars on pit road. Matthew Heel, heavy damage to the front of that car. Patrick Lucio on pit road, and Corey Goodall currently being scored 13th. It's not looking good for him tonight. He needs as many points as he can get to stay inside that top 4 to move forward to the championship race next week at Phoenix. And it's going to be really close. It's going to be really close to see if he can make that final 4. Because right now you got Bryn up there in the 54 car. Brandon's going to try it. Brandon will basically make it as long as he finishes here inside the top 5. And Wes Gallo right there in P4, he's also in the mix. And Craig Bridge Jr. right there in 7th. That all comes down to how many points he can rack up. It'll be interesting. 5 laps to go. Want to see somebody Ross Chastain it here in the final lap. How interesting would that be? I think we've tried that here in the iRacing server, and I don't know if they even allow that to work anymore. I know when it first happened and we saw the Watermelon Man ride the wall on the outside on the final lap, I think it kind of did work here in iRacing for a little bit, but I think iRacing might have made that move not work or patched it to where you couldn't do that, and it slows you down way too much, so you can't take advantage of it anymore. But how interesting would that be if someone tried to pull that move off here on the final lap? There we go. 4 laps to go, 3 at the line. And it's still Brandon Fiedler and Stephen Gibson for the lead. Side by side, and Stephen Gibson edges out the 39 to Brandon Fiedler. Oh, look at this. Brandon Fiedler to the inside. He's going to try and take that lead back away.
Caution, caution.
And caution back out.
What do you think, bud? You think you're all right out there?
Eric Olson involved. '71 got in the side of the 64. Take one more look. Looks like the two of them kind of just got together there. I think the 64 kind of came down the track, maybe didn't realize how close the 71 was, and the 71 was there, and that's the result of it. Alrighty, back up here to the front. Looks like David Galloway Jr. gets that wave around. He's back on the lead lap. Actually, I apologize. He is not in the lead lap. He's negative 11 laps down. So everybody right now on the lead lap except for David Galloway. And Zachary Ward is off track along with John Ledger. Zachary Ward says, should we ban the Hail Melon? We probably, I don't know. Yes. No, I mean, NASCAR did ban it. They don't allow it anymore. That'd be a tough call. Alrighty, pates are off on the lights. Lights are off on the pace car. This could be the final time, final restart, as long as there's not another caution. Pace car is about to pull off the track here, and we're going to have a green flag. Green-white checkered, rather, I mean. Here we go, side by side. Here are the leaders, Stephen Gibson, Brandon Fiedler, with Wes Gallo and Bryn George right behind them.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. 2 laps to go in this race. Stephen Gibson to the lead. Once again, Brandon right there, P2. He hasn't won this series in a while. Oh, caution back out. Caution out once again. These guys got to get all formed up and figure it out. Matthew Heel involved. And it looks like Matthew Heel gets taken out from the 71. Alrighty, so not much racing, or not much, let's see, what lap, we're on lap number 145, or 154. Here we go, sorry guys, I apologize. Alright, we're in overtime on lap number 156. So this should be the last restart of the race. The next flag ends the race. This should be overtime number 2. So we're going to give this one more chance, one more shot around this track. If the caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, the next flag ends the race and we'll be ending the race under caution. If we stay green, then it'll be a heck of a race to the end here. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be a green-white checker for the final time here at Martinsville Speedway. This is an elimination race. Here is your playoff drivers. Who's gonna win their way in? Stephen Gibson, your leader in the 43 car. He is not in the championship though. Alrighty, lights are off the pace car for the final time. Down the backstretch on turn 2 they go. And the pace car is about to pull off track here. And here we go for the final time at Martinsville. This is the last race of the round of 8.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. 2 laps to go. Side by side, and it's Stephen Gibson who edges out Brandon Fiedler once again. He's been so good on these restarts. And there's a wreck behind him. And we stay green. Final lap, white flag in the air. Stephen Gibson, Brandon Fiedler in the 39. And there you have it at the line. Stephen Gibson with the win over Brandon Fiedler. Stephen Gibson does a phenomenal job on those restarts. Every time he came to the restart, he led and pulled away from the field. Did a great job. He gets the win. Unfortunately, he was not in the playoffs, but gets that win here at Martinsville Speedway. He did win last year in the Truck Series at Martinsville, so he knows how to get it done. All right, let's pull him up here in the booth and congratulate him. Hey, Steven, congratulations. David up here in the booth, you got me?
Yeah, I got you, David.
Hey, man, heck of a win. You won here last year in the iRacing Fun League in the Truck Series, and you come back and do it once again. How does it feel here tonight?
Yeah, it feels good. It was pretty stacked there in the beginning. I didn't think really seemed like if you had first place, you just really had kind of control what you really wanted to do, unless someone kind of did like a really weird switchback in the turns. But yeah, it was great racing there with everybody, especially Brandon there. Not trying to like intentionally yeet me out of the way, and he definitely had the chance to. So I'll definitely remember that. But yeah, it was definitely tough competition here tonight. I know some people got heated in the chat there, but yeah, I mean, it was all really, to be honest, it was a great race, and I wish we had that green flag lap just go a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. We were hoping to have this thing go a little bit longer under green flag conditions, but definitely you put on a heck of a show. You had the car to beat all race long, and man, you basically on those last couple restarts, you really pulled away from the field, and you were hard to beat. Brandon just could not get around you, and I don't think there's anybody really stopping you here tonight.
Yeah, I think really on the restarts was the only opportune time that Brandon had to really kind of like get the position he needed. But I just felt like rolling the bottom and just making sure I wasn't giving him room was really going to be my best choice. And I mean, at that point, I just had to commit to running the bottom line, running the correct line, and hoping he just didn't decide to punt me or just. If you run too aggressive here, you're just going to lose the position. So I just had to hope for the best, and thankfully he was a really clean driver.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, you definitely put on a heck of a race, and congratulations coming home P1 win this year at Martinsville. I got to ask, how'd that race go last night at Talladega?
Yeah, that was I don't even want to really talk about that. That was really depressing.
I figured I'd ask, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, everything was good to the end, and then some dude took it 4 wide, just decided to cut down right in front of my nose when he wasn't clear, and Talladega, when you go in those speeds, there's nothing you can really do about that. So yeah, I mean, I did good avoiding all the wrecks before, but I just didn't roll the lucky dice number on that one.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry to bring that back up. I just figured I'd ask. I knew you were pretty upset at that point when I jumped in there. But, hey, man, congratulations on the win here tonight. Redeemed yourself, putting it back in victory lane. Congrats. And thanks for coming out and racing with us.
Yep. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, have a good one, and happy Halloween.
Yep. Happy Halloween, man.
All right, there you heard it from your race winner, Steven Gibson. Let's go ahead and pull up P2, Brandon Fiedler. Hey, Brand, David up, you got me?
Yeah, what's up, David?
Hey, man, P2, I know it's not the win you're looking for. Man, you had the car to beat all race long, and we thought you were going to pull it off in the closing laps, but, man, Steven Gibson just pulled away on every single restart. What was it going to take for you to pass him in the closing laps?
A longer run. That's all I really got. It seemed like Heel had something figured out where he could get it into the corner a little bit deeper on when he restarted on the outside. But then it almost looked like he was overdriving the car getting into the corner or into both corners, and that's how he's able to do it. I just knew as long as I stayed up front, as long as I didn't do anything stupid, I was clean point wise into the final round. So I just decided to race smartly. If I got there, I got there. If I didn't, no harm, no foul. And I believe the entire race, I also ran like first or second the entire time. So I really can't complain. But I'm excited to go into next week, ready to fight for a championship.
Yeah, definitely. You are now locked into that championship race, so congrats on that. Gonna race for the championship. Man, but yeah, we were watching you guys, and it looked like between you and Gibson and Matthew Heel, you had the 3 fastest cars on track. And yeah, we were watching Heel, and he was running a really interesting line. And at first, I thought he was maybe, not making it stick, but then it just seemed like he made it work, and we weren't really understanding how he was trying to drive it in that far, and it was weird. But like Steven Gibson, though, man, he just had those restarts locked down, and like you said, we wish we would have had some more green flag races for you guys to battle it out.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it like I said, he'll kind of did a diamond thing getting into the corner, so he would exit really hard, kind of park it in the middle of the corner, so it allowed everybody else to get like a run behind him. But then he would gas it up and just go off of each corner, so he would get a little bit more run. I think the only way to get to kind of combat that would have just been getting underneath him when he was in the middle of the corner. But yeah, Steven Gibson ran a heck of a race. He got caught up a little bit early on in the race, but I think that just prolonged the inevitable. He had a really fast car tonight.
Yeah, he did. Definitely. You had one fast car too. We thought for a while there you were going to win this thing, but man, it just these chaotic Martinsville races, it's so hard to track position matters, so hard to lead this thing and be up there when it matters. But he played a great game trying to keep you back there. But you two guys had the fastest cars, and I know it kind of stings. You're looking for that win. You haven't won here in a couple races, but definitely podium's got to help though.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, like I mentioned before, the win, yeah, it would have been nice, but next week was more the goal for myself, just getting into the final four and making sure I had a chance to race for a championship.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, Brandon. Congrats on P2 runner-up finish here tonight at Martinsville, and we'll see you next week battling it out for the championship at Phoenix. So congrats for making that Final Four race.
Yeah, thanks, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it very much so.
All righty, Brandon, have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
There you heard it from Brandon Fiedler coming home P2 here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. We'll pull up P3, which was Bryn George, and the number 54. We haven't heard from him all night. Let's go ahead and talk with him. Hey, Bryn, it's David on the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Hey, P3 tonight. Congratulations on a podium finish. That car is looking pretty banged up there in the right front. But walk us through tonight. How'd the race go?
Yeah, the race was good. A little disappointed that I didn't make the final four, but I mean, it was a clean race for the most part until the end. That end was crazy, but it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it gets these Martinsville races are so chaotic, and I know it kind of was like this last year too. We had like 12 cautions or something out there tonight, and when we get towards the end of these things, it's almost like, all right, come on, guys, let's just get to the end here. But man, you capitalized on it though. Come home P3. I know you would have liked to win it, but man, those two cars in front of you, it was going to take a lot to try and get around them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just big congrats to Steven for winning the race, and congrats for Wes for making the final transfer spot. I'm happy for him and Brandon, and I hope one of them win the championship. And yeah, man, that was a chaotic race towards the end. I mean, we could run one lap and it'd be yellow, 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 yellow. I was hoping I could challenge Brandon or Steven, but my car was super damaged from an earlier wreck, so it just didn't have the grip that I needed.
Right, yep, that's always hard, and especially at this track. But yeah, good looking paint scheme out there. I want to give a shout out to
Yeah,
you. That was probably
for
one of my
sure.
favorite Truex paint schemes out there. Did you pick that, or did Wes just kind of assign it to you?
So we were kind of talking. I did want like a Napa, Michael Waltrip Racing, Truex scheme. I actually picked another one, but Wes picked this one. We just talked about it, of course, and yeah, it looks really, really good. I really liked it.
Awesome. Well, Brent, I'm sorry to make the championship four. I still got to do points and figure out where everybody's at. So there's that, but it looks like it's probably going to be Brandon and then John Scheidrich and I believe Wes Gallo who comes on P4 tonight. So I
Yeah.
believe it's all down between you and I think Craig Bridge and Corey Goodall. I don't know. I got to do the final point standings here in just a moment, but good race though, coming home P3 here tonight.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and thank you.
All right, Brendan. Hope you have a good rest of your Halloween tonight, and have a good
For
weekend.
sure.
We'll see you next Thursday.
You too, man. See ya.
There you heard it from Bryn George, coming home P3 tonight, podium finisher at Martinsville Speedway. That car pretty banged up, but he stuck it out and put his car up there towards the front. And congratulations to him on a podium finish. All right, let's go ahead and pull up Wes Gallo, who comes home P4 tonight. Hey, Wes, it's David at the booth. You got me?
I sure do. How goes it, buddy?
Hey, P4 tonight, not too bad. And if I'm not mistaken, that's got to be good enough for you to race for a championship next Thursday.
I believe so. Like I told you earlier, I don't really look at the numbers very often, but I think I was just racing Bryn for a handful of spots. Neither of us did anything too special, so yeah, I think I got a shot next week at Phoenix.
Yep, you came in this race. I know we talked to you earlier tonight, and you came in the or to the positive, and I believe with a top 5 finish here tonight, I believe you came away in advance. So congratulations. Next week, it's going to be an interesting race. How are you feeling for that?
Well, the first thing that goes through my mind, I mean, it is a bummer for Bryn. He's deserves it just as much as, if not more than I do. He's got more wins than me, but the lack of wins going into it just makes me feel like it's a Daniel Hemrick situation. We're gonna show up and yeah, I got distracted by Discord. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna show up and see if I can get my first win and walk it off with a chip. That's the hope. Let's see. I don't know. Brandon's a rocket.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean by the Hemrick situation. Didn't win a race all year and came away with the championship. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a fun race to watch next week at Phoenix because you guys all have fast cars and it's going to be really close. So I'm enjoying it, watching you guys, and hopefully next Thursday it's going to be a good race. But yeah, I know Martinsville definitely was pretty chaotic. Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you, but you managed to come home top 5 though.
Yeah, probably on my worst track. I feel like I showed some significant improvement in my personal running. I feel like the race was, as a whole, really better than you would usually see in most leagues until kind of the end fell apart. But yeah, I think overall, kind of a success for the league and me personally here.
Awesome, Wes. Well, thanks for talking with us and congrats on P4 tonight. Great looking paint scheme as always. Good looking car out there. And we'll talk to you next week. Congrats on making that championship 4 race. And hopefully you practice up and hopefully you battle for the win next week.
Thank you. Hopefully, I can pull Daniel Hemrick. Now I just got to decide if I want to remake the scheme, throwbacks for my thing. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, you got to come up with a really cool paint scheme for us.
I'll see what I got.
Something special, some kind of championship caliber paint scheme. I don't know. You just got to come up with something cool. I'm sure you will.
Something where I want my picture taken when I'm done.
Yeah, there you go. Alrighty, man. You have a good rest of your night. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Do the same. Happy Halloween.
You too. All right, there you heard it from Wes Gallo, P4 tonight, and Steve Mormon comes home top 5. Let's pull him up. Hey, Steve, it's David. You got me?
Oh, hello.
Hey, man, we talked to you earlier in this race, and I don't know if I jinxed you or if I talked to you. I think I talked to you before you had that initial spin early on. But, man, you rebound nicely to a top 5, moved up 11 spots from where you started here tonight. Just how did you manage to come back up through the field and rebound that nicely here towards the end?
Yeah, finding a rhythm really. I've never raced at Martinsville. I bought the track right before the race, which seems to be a routine of mine. But yeah, I just found a rhythm. I was struggling with my pedal. Sometimes it registers an input when I'm trying to lay off of it. So that's really hard for braking. So you had to do the old trick where you grip it with your big foot and pull it all the way up. So toward the end, maybe with like 50 laps to go, I finally found that rhythm of, pulling it up, braking, downshifting, and of course the cautions helped, right? And people pitting when I had pitted earlier, that helped me move up too. But all in all, I think at the end I was pretty fast, and if we had another 20, 30 laps to go, I think I would have kept a high finish just with the comfort level I found.
Right, yeah, that sounds awesome, man. You had a good thing going there in the second half of the race. Definitely rebounded really good, and top 5, something that's something to be proud of. But
Yeah.
yeah, I finally saw what Wes was talking about. Martin Truex paint scheme from his Furniture Road days in the '78. That was the Chevy SS car, World Vision. I saw it now in the chat, so now I understand where it's from. At first, I didn't recognize it, but I get it now. So cool looking paint scheme.
Yeah. I had no idea. Yeah, unique. I'm glad you saw it in chat. We were
Definitely unique.
under caution. I quickly loaded up the stream on my phone and punched in the comment to make sure you got it. A quality broadcast is A1. You gotta make sure all the details are there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I saw you up in the chat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I appreciate that as well. That's awesome that you did that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll be here next week, so thank you for all season long. It's been really fun. It's so cool that you broadcast these, and I always try to rewatch them. It's just cool. It adds another whole level to this whole racing thing. So thanks for being here, and I'll definitely be doing some off-season races, and looking forward to next season.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Steve, very much. I have a blast doing it and just doing it for fun and putting it on for you guys. But I always appreciate the feedback, and that's awesome, man. But thanks for racing with us, coming out, and I know you're not racing for a championship. We'll miss you next Thursday. But yeah, it's always a blast watching you guys race on track, and we'll talk to you soon. I hope you have the good rest of your Halloween. Happy Halloween, and have a good weekend, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you, David. See you soon.
Alrighty, guys, there's your top 5 finishers here tonight. We will get you the points here next week. I will end the stream here tonight, but we will let you know who all made it next Thursday. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a happy Halloween. And thanks for coming by and spend the rest of your Halloween night with us and watching this race. It's been interesting. And hopefully, you guys enjoy next week at Phoenix. We're going to have our final race of the season. We'll pull up that schedule real quick. There it is on screen. Championship race. Don't want to miss it. It's going to be John Shirich and Brandon Fiedler battling it out. And I believe Wes Gallo also made it. And then that final transfer position was between Corey Goodall and I believe Corey Goodall, who was the last spot here. Corey Goodall and did I and Bryn George. It was between Corey and Bryn. Corey went in plus 16, so he had so many points though. I don't know if Bryn had enough to pass him up. So right there on the left side of your screen, those may be your 4 championship contending drivers. And we'll get those points updated and let you guys know next week. But thank you so much for coming out. Spend your Halloween with us. Hope you have a good rest of your night. And we'll see you next week for the final race of the 2024 season. And we crown our championship of this series. So, you guys have a good weekend. Have a good night. We're out. We'll see you guys next week.